Hello everyone, I am Shalini Prabhat, an alumni and teacher in SOS Herman Minor School, Chaubepur, Varanasi. Right now, you are going through the pages of Think Big, one of the best-selling book in motivation and leadership, written by none other than our respected principal sir, Dr. A.P. Gaur sir. And today's chapter of discussion is To My Fellow Beings, that is, to the Educationist. So kindly go through the video, share among your friends and family, and do like the video, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you and have a happy reading ahead.
Hello friends, you are going through the pages of Think Big, the book on motivation and leadership written by me, and today we will be going through chapter number 14. The topic is dedicated to my fellow teachers. This entire chapter has been dedicated by me to my fellow teachers, those my belonging to my fraternity. Dear friends, intent is a reflection of the spirit's desire to create in the material world. The only way to clearly translate that desire into physical reality is through action. Intent without dedicated action is simply not enough. Action without a clear intent is a waste. It is when these two powerful forces are aligned that the energy of the universe conspires in your favor. Intent and action are the fuel and vehicle in the journey of creation. When you establish a destination by defining what you want, then take physical action by making choices that move you towards that destination. The possibility for success is limitless, and arrival at the destination is inevitable. Balance these two powerful forces in your life. Too much intent coupled with too little action is a recipe for frustration and impotent existing. Too much action with too little intent makes for wasteful exertion of energy and the confusion between movement and progress. It is in the balance of these forces that the seeds of happiness, success, and creation are watered and nourished to grow. Today is your day to harness these mega powers and put their limitless potential to work for you. The universe conspires in your favor the moment you deliver to it a clear message of balanced intent and action. Deliver your message today. Read the following story thoroughly. I am afraid you might be the one like the protagonist of the story. Live and work. Father was a hard-working man who delivered bread for a living to support his wife and 3 children. He spent all his evenings after work attending classes, hoping to improve himself so that he could one day find a better paying job. Except for Sundays, father hardly ate a meal together with his family. He worked and studied very hard because he wanted to provide his family with the best money could buy. Whenever the family complained that he was not spending enough time with them, he reasoned that he was doing all this for them, but he often yearned to spend more time with his family. The day came when the examination results were announced. To his joy, father passed, and with distinctions too. Soon after, he was offered a good job as a senior supervisor, which paid handsomely. Like a dream come true, father could now afford to provide his family with life's little luxuries like nice clothing, fine food, and vacation abroad. However, the family still did not get to see father for most of the week. He continued to work very hard, hoping to be promoted to the position of manager. In fact, to make himself a worthy candidate for the promotion, he enrolled for another course in the Open University. Again, whenever the family complained that he was not spending enough time with him, he reasoned that he was doing all this for them, but he often yearned to spend more time with his family. Father's hard work paid off and he was promoted. Jubilantly, he decided to hire a maid to relieve his wife from her domestic task. He also felt that their three-room flat was no longer big enough. It would be nice for his family to be able to enjoy the facilities and comfort of a condominium. Having experienced the rewards of his hard work many times before, father resolved to further his studies and work at being promoted again. The family still did not get to see much of him. In fact, sometimes father had to work on Sundays entertaining clients. Again, whenever the family complained that he was not spending enough time with them, he reasoned that he was doing all this for them. But he often yearned to spend more time with his family. As expected, father's hard work paid off again, and he bought a beautiful condominium overlooking the coast of Singapore. On the first Sunday evening at their new home, father declared to his family that he decided not to take any more courses or pursue any more promotions. From then on, he was going to devote more time to his family. Father did not wake up the next day. That is the tragedy of our lives. Dear friends, the irony of our education system is, this is the greatest irony of the present day education system, that 21st century child is being taught by 20th century teachers with the curriculum of 19th century under the four walls. The child is a stereotype mechanical object working under a cell and ball rhythm. He is inside a room which is nothing more than a jail cell for him, and after every period when the bell rings, the child gives a big sigh of relief. He wants some mental relaxation by indulging in some recreative activity just to get out of the long boring lecture of his teachers, and we call his recreative activity as indiscipline in the classroom. What can be more ironical than the fact that first we put the child in a cell, that is classroom, and then keep a watch on him through CC camera. It is killing the natural behavior of a child. The child tends to behave in artificial manner, knowing well that big boss is watching him. In this era of widespread use of computers and easily available sources of information, a child is not coming to us to be informed. He is rather coming to be reformed. Now there is Rahul's story, which definitely tinkles my mind also, and which I must say that whosoever has gone through this story definitely compels that person to think something deeply about our education system. Here is Rahul's story for you. Rahul was in class 6th. He was gloomy, aloof and dull in his studies, as observed and remarked by all teachers. Then enters a new class teacher, Mrs. Mehra, a student of child psychology. She bothers to check the scholar's progress register of school and traces Rahul's profile. Entered the school in LKG. Result: topper of the section. Remark: happy, joyful, vibrant, outward, favorite of all teachers. Now UKG. Result: topper of the section. Remark was the same. Class 1. Result was topper of the section and remarks were the same. Class 2. Result again topper of the section and remarks the same. Class 3. Result topper of the section, remark was the same. Now class 4th. Rahul's mother died. He manages to pass the exam and the remarks given by the class teacher at that time were withdrawn and gloomy. Now class 5. The result was promoted to class 6th. Remarks given by the class teacher then were inward, withdrawn, non-serious in studies, does not complete homework. Mrs. Mehra had tears in her eyes as she folded the scholar's register. Next day, as she stepped in the class, she just went to Rahul, tightening his tie knot, though it was stinking and dirty, hanging over the white shirt turning to yellow color. Rahul did not respond and went back to his seat. Next day and for many more days, Mrs. Mehra caresses Rahul, gives him more attention than anybody else. Rahul responds now with a smile and completes the homework given by Mrs. Mehra. Clothes are old but washed and ironed. He always wants to see Mrs. Mehra. His face gleams at her sight. On the Teacher's Day, all the students give one or other gift to Mrs. Mehra. When all students finish giving their presents, Mrs. Mehra looks at Rahul, who had something loosely wrapped and hidden behind him. She calls out, "Rahul, what have you hidden behind you?" "Nothing, ma'am," replies the boy with a sense of self-pity. After repeated asking, Rahul comes to Mrs. Mehra, hands her over a half-filled bottle of scent and two bracelets, stone missing from one of them. Mrs. Mehra, with the inquisitiveness of an adolescent girl, opens the lid of the bottle and sprinkles 2 drops of scent on her sari. Rahul jumps with joy and smells Mrs. Mehra's sari, commenting, "Ma'am, you smell like my mother," and comes back to his seat with the face shining like a bright moon. Rahul passes class 6 with very good marks. Years pass. Rahul progresses to higher classes as a brilliant child and Mrs. Mehra goes on guiding him. He visits her house often. Rahul goes to college and to another city for his engineering but keeps in regular touch with Mrs. Mehra. One day, Mrs. Mehra receives an envelope with a wedding card, air tickets to America, and a note written on a piece of paper. "I'm getting married. You have to come and perform all the rituals of a mother in the ceremony, Rahul." Now, dear friends, we, the so-called academicians, see, we believe and take action. But we, the teachers, don't bother to see the genesis, that is the reasons behind, and the repercussions, that is the results. And we say that we are teaching our future generations. No, we are not doing. Thank you.